All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with our third and final tournament, at least for a little while. We're having our finals. It's just going to be two matches today. The first match is going to be Northville Varsity versus Northville JV. And then whoever wins this one, it's going to be a best of three. It's going to go on to face Troy Loyalty. And I'm joined by Ethan Avery.
How's it going? Very excited to see these games and how they turn out.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a while. I don't think I've ever seen Northville face their JV versus their varsity team. So I'm interested to see how this goes. We can already see the first three bands out for both teams. Looks like both teams. Well, I was gonna say both teams opted to bans on the top side of the map, but we do have an 80 carry ban as well for Northville uh, JV.
Very interesting, and looks like Urgot gonna be coming out here. So taking away Shin, taking away that power to go cross map, impact the bot lane, impact the jungle, impact the mid lane with that Shin ulti. So Urgot looking to bully in lane here and not be punished by cross map plays.
Yeah, and then now we also have the Galileo first pick for Northville JV. Bit of a flex. I mean, it could go top. Very unlikely for that. But the more likely is the mid or the support. Very interested to see where that goes. Galley's a really strong laner. Really good late game. Very tanky. So yeah, interested to see where that goes. That's set. Probably. I mean, probably just gonna be set top. Like it's also a flex. It can be set top and it can also be set support.
Absolutely, two versatile champions, also very tanky. But on the other side, when you pick two tanks, you do run the risk of the scaling. So Vayne comes out. Of course, Vayne very strong against tanks. That's exactly the type of comp she wants to play into. And Veigar is well coming out. So two very strong scaling champions for Varsity here.
Oh yeah. Um. Huh. Their team comp looks really disgusting. I actually played some League the other day and I played against a Vagar and Vagar with the I can't think of the item's name. It's just a ton of CC. And this Morgana is actually going to be a really strong pick for Northfield JV. Is like Vagar can really shut down a team fight, and with Galio and Zed, those are two champions that have to get into the mix and have to get into the front line. So Vagar is definitely a really good pick here.
Absolutely. And Morgana, of course, buffed recently in the patches in the jungle. Very strong, very quick clears, can clear even to level 4 before Scuttle Crab spawns. So a lot of versatility, of course, can also flex to support if you need it. So a strong pick here for JV. And I'll be interested to see these two teams playing against each other because they're going to know each other, right? Like they know what each other want to play. They know how each other like to pass, what they like to build. So there's a little bit of familiarity here, and I'll be interested to see how that plays out. These two teams going up against each other.
Yep. Interesting. The Lulu band coming out. Lulu, personally, for me, I think that's one of my top hated supports to play against. It's very annoying. I think it's a really good band. You have Galio, you have Set. You still have two picks, but you're already playing against a Vagar, and a Galio and Set. A Poly would just be so detrimental if you're trying to engage on the 80 carry. So I think that's a very good band for JV. So they're looking to engage, and Vagar's gonna try to shut that down. But they do have the Morgana, they do have Set, and they do have Galio. So still a lot of engaged tools.
Absolutely. When you play against hyper carries, hyper scaling champions, you don't want them getting peeled. So taking away Lulu helps not only with the polymorph, also with the ulti to try and save a Vayne, to try and save a Vagar once you get onto them. So very strong ban, I think, here coming out from JV. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for more divers, maybe an assassin to get into that back line. And as we say assassin, we get Kaiser, looks like as the AD carry, very much a champion that wants to go in with her front line, get to the back line, isolated Qs, hell of blades, collector, kill everything in the enemy back line. That's exactly what she wants to do with her team.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Northville Varsity pulls out for the support. Um, I assume, I mean, the support's job is to peel for the AD carry, but I assume it's going to be a lot more peel oriented. Picking the Olaf, I actually do like the Olaf here, because Olaf, it's very interesting because Kaiser, with her ulti, um, with her team, it might be able to help her out a little bit. But Olaf is one of those champions. It's. I mean, his ult makes him immune. As you see, it's very hard to peel him because you can't really. If there are some ways to save your AD carry from Olaf, but yeah, Olaf is very, very good here. Able to just run into the backline and kill the Kai'Sa, but the Kai'Sa ult is going to be very, very good against it.
Absolutely. Olaf giving Varsity here some early game presence with their team that wants to scale. Also, Olaf, as you mentioned, immune to CC in the ulti. What does Morgana do? Well, she has a 3-second stun. So Olaf, perfect for countering there in that jungle matchup. Again, also with Alistar. Galio's got a taunt, right? Set's got CC. So Olaf going to be able to play how he wants to in these fights. And we see the Rel coming out to make sure that Vayne and Veigar have plenty of meat shields in front of them, and on the other side, Alistar will be looking to make plays for JV.
Yep, we're going over to the champs. So we already seen the draft, but just to talk about it a little bit more, um, wow, uh, I think I give draft to JV here. I think. I mean, with a varsity, you have the rel as your engage. I don't know. I'm really digging the JV comp. You have a very, very tanky and beefy front line for this Kai'Sa. It's going to be incredibly hard for anything to get on top of it. You have the Olaf, but Kai'Sa has very good self feels. Her E for invisibility, her ultimate to juke, as well as the shield. So it's going to be very, very scary if this Kai'Sa starts to get ahead. Because if she gets ahead, she can just honestly kill the Olaf. Because Olaf is a very squishy champion.
Absolutely. I think the main issue here with the JV comp is where's the damage coming from that isn't from Kai'Sa? Morgana gets some AoE damage out in team fights with Leandries, with her W. Set, he can do some damage. Galio, he can do some damage, but they don't really have a true second source of damage outside of Kai'Sa. So if she goes down, I'm not sure that they're able to consistently win team fights. Of course, on the other side, you have Vayne and Veigar, both able to put out tons of damage. So if you lose one, you still have a chance in fights.
All right, we're back. A little bit of technical difficulties with Riot's amazing client. Um, yeah, looks like there was some issues. I'm not sure exactly what was happening, but we're back. We're talking a little bit about team comps. Um, this is exciting. Like I said, I'm really digging JV's team comp, the set, the Galio, the Morgana. I mean, it's so much peel for the AD carry. Honestly, if you think about it, it's 4 supports and 1 AD carry. Because all
Yeah,
of the other champions could be supports.
absolutely. And I mean, the other side of that, of course, is it's so much pressure on you when you are that solo carry. You have to prioritize getting your farm. You have to prioritize getting kills, right? Smaller things like, your support accidentally taking the kill with Ignite or things like that end up being very detrimental in comps like this because you need as much money on that one carry as possible so that they can actually deal the damage you need to win in fights later on.
Yeah. Um, So I think we can go ahead and take a break. We're going to wait until the spectator delay is over once we get through this draft. After that, we'll get into game and see how it goes. So we'll be right back in about 3 or so minutes after the spectator delay is gone. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're back. We're finally in game after multiple technical difficulties. I'm joined by Ethan Avery. We're here in game number 1 of Northville Varsity versus Northville Junior Varsity. So excited to see what's going to happen.
Yep, it should be a good one. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, we're looking at two comps that definitely want to play around their carries. We have a Vagar, we have a Vayne on one side, and on the other side, we have tons of tanks, supportive champions, and we have a Kaiser who is going to be the main damage source for this team, which will be the JV. So it looks like nothing special going on here in level 1. Both teams kind of 5-pointing, checking the river, making sure nothing too crazy is going to go on. And we see Olaf looks like deciding to start top versus Morgana bot side here. So let's see how these junglers decide the path.
Yep. So I don't know what it is, but my client decides to chop off one of the members on the scoreboard at the bottom. So won't be able to see the Kaiser for JV, and we won't be able to see the Rel, their items, at least. It's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, really interesting to see both junglers start on the opposite sides of the map. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm thinking that Olaf is trying to pass down here towards the Vayne lane, maybe get something going there as we get action top side.
He's dead.
Set very low.
Maybe? Yeah, he's dead.
Trying to stall out as much as he possibly can, but
I think the flash was a little bit unnecessary. The set wasn't going anywhere there, but that is going to be first blood for the Urgot. Yeah, I think just level 1, like, Urgot did a lot of damage with his passive. So you just kind of sit back. I think you win level 2 on trades. I don't think you win extended fights against Urgot. But unfortunate for the set, I don't think you lose too much there. Obviously, you died, you're going to miss a little bit of experience, but, you just got there as the minions hit your turret, so it's not that terrible for the set. Going to be a little bit of additional tempo loss since the Urgot's just going to get a free recall, but still early game, so nothing to fear.
Urgot picking up quick cloth armor and boots to push that lead, a little bit defensive, but also now able to catch set a little bit here. As we just get Scuttle getting leashed a little bit there, roll off, and this pretty calm early game. A lot of very healthy champions on the map right now.
Yeah, what do you think about the cloth boots? I mean, if it was me, I would have went maybe like double longsword potentially. That's 700 gold that was spent. So, very interesting buy there. I think you just go damage. Like you already like, you got a free recall. The set bought nothing. He's still like basically on starter items. You just come back to lane with 20 additional AD.
Yeah, I guess Urgot may be trying to rush the tabbies here potentially. As it's going in again here.
Yeah, see right there. See, that's what the set wanted to do, like level 1. As we have a bit of an early play, Olaf is going to start chasing down this Morgana. I think they should have committed to that. That could have potentially at least been a flash from the Morgana, but just gonna get some damage and then walk away. But going back to the top side, see that's what the set wanted to do. I think set level 3 beats Urgot, like by all means. I mean, obviously there's a wave here, but set is very scary, and Urgot does a lot of burst damage. So what you can do with set is you just walk in the wave. The Urgot like autos you and then E's you, and then like you just stun him in his minion wave, and just W him. And you just do like half his HP and walk away. And there's nothing the Urgot can do. As we have a early play, Alistar's going to flash in. There's going to be a stun onto the Vayne. I don't think this is going to be what the Alistar wants. Is now he's going to be chased down. No flash. That's going to be the heal out. It's just going to be a giant bait. TP coming down. This is going to be a dead Alistar. Black Shield's not going to save him. Possibly a dead Morgana. The Veigar's out of mana. Not 6 quite. Oh, he is 6, but still, like I said, doesn't have mana. Nothing's going to result from that, but that's going to be an overall. What is that? 1-for-1 actually.
And the kill there going on to the Rel as opposed to Vayne. So best case scenario kind of there. If you are Northville JV here, you don't want to feed Vayne. And so she'll be coming back to lane now with her tier 2 boots.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I'm like, wait, where did the kill gun? I'm like, my thing's bugged. But that was really good for Northville JV because Rel with the kill, like, ooh, Rel's just gonna get tankier. It's not that scary. I mean, I think it's the least scariest person to get a kill on. But the Kaiser was actually able to pick up a kill there, which is really huge. Kaiser scales into an absolute monster into the late game. So really good for the Kaiser to pick up a kill there.
Very strong for her and very important as well for this team because they are built solely around their Kaiser. So they need her with as much gold as she can possibly get for them as they move towards the late game.
Yeah. Yeah. See? You see this top lane? Urgot can't even walk up. Like I said, given it's a big wave in these certain scenarios, but even if it was an even wave, Urgot cannot walk up. It's very bad. Sad is just like such a lane bully. I honestly think he should be building towards Blade of the Rune King first item. Because you do have Olaf, you do have Urgot, and you do have Rel, and those are going to be some tanky champions, as well as it's overall a really good item because it synergizes with his passive, getting the attack speed and just doing more % HP.
Very true. Blade of the Rune King, of course, great against tanks, as you said, doing that % HP damage. Potentially looks like he may be going for, well, we'll see with the Kindle Gem, as Rel trying to contest and keep this pink up.
Really good condemn. That's going to be very big chunk on over to the Kaiser. Rel's just going to lose half her HP, but really good for Northville Varsity chunking out the Kaiser. Just going to try to repin it up. This is going to be a gank over onto the Galio. It's going to be chunking down. Olaf is running him down. There is the Primordial Burst, 1 HP, canceling the auto. That was almost really bad, but that's going to be another kill over to Northville Varsity, who are now 3-1.
Yes, they're getting ahead here, and Galio, they're choosing not to flash away, choosing to just go ahead and die instead. I'm not sure if that's the best play, giving money over to Veigar. Veigar loves money. He wants to scale. He wants to be a carry for his team. You play Galio, especially with that Aftershock, to just play safe. But if you're dead and giving up kills, giving up waves here, just going to fall further behind. As he's also, interestingly enough, building damage. Looks like potentially probably going Proto Belt here, but not an Electrocute, not a Predator. It's an Aftershock Galio, so not quite the same amount of damage will be coming out of him once we get to team fights, as Set wants to go in.
Yeah, that's a dead. Oh, wait, what? He hesitated. That should have been a very dead Urgot. But like I said, like, Urgot doesn't win this. I don't think that Urgot wins this, like, ever, now that I think about it. Set just continues to scale into, like, a monster. It's very hard to fight him with minions, because that's just an easy stun. He has incredible max HP damage. Depending on his build, it'd just be very scary, so... despite that early kill that Urgot got, I don't think it matters. Here comes the flash in. Set's just going to be able to walk this out, I'm pretty sure. Here comes the ult. Really good W from the Set, so he doesn't get into that execute range. And look, Urgot just TP to lane, and he's already like half HP.
And Set, of course, has his TP available. Saved his flasher, chose not to use it to secure the kill earlier, but he will have both of his sums coming back here to lane. As Urgot is down on his.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a little bit bloodier of an early game, but still, both teams just playing the scaling game. Just want to check in on JV's comp, how they're doing. So they do have that one kill. I unfortunately can't check the CS of the Kaiser, so I don't know how well she's doing into the bot lane, which is very, very unfortunate. But they're not behind. I think even if they're slightly behind, they're doing well. I think they overall just outscale. I think honestly, not even overall, they just hands down easily outscale Varsity. Urgot late game is like gonna be able to do nothing into Galio Morgana. Like you have no way. Like you don't want to walk up into a set whether it's in lane or late game. You're just gonna get punished. As well as with Alistar, Galio, and Morgana, Urgot's not gonna have a fun time in the team fighting stage of this game. Like you're not gonna be able to walk up. You're not gonna be really able to auto because it's just gonna be incredibly scary. Olaf just falls off late game unless he can just snowball and get ahead early and or build like full damage. I think full damage is kind of gonna have to be the way to go, or bruiser damage, because he's gonna have to be the one that dives in to kill the Kaiser.
He is getting engaged here.
Oh man. It's going to be a really good Magnet Storm. Oh my god, that's a very, very good Killer Instinct there. Alistar is looking to kill this Rel. Stopwatch, I still don't think it's going to matter. Still going to take one more turret shot. Alistar is just walking it out, trying to auto-attack. Here's the Veigar. Bit of a bait from the Rel, looking to go back in. That's going to be a flash out from the Alistar, but I think both of these guys are going to be dead if Morgana can walk up and use her ultimate. It looks like they're just going to try to trade for the kill. Alistar doing a little bit of a bait, uses that ultimate to take reduced damage. And this is just going to be a double kill for Northville Varsity. Excuse me, Northville JV.
Absolutely getting money onto that Galio now. What a turn of events there. We start out, once again, very importantly though, as Olaf goes in, and it's not over yet, as he's looking and picks up yet another kill here onto the Morgana, and now the blood keeps going top lane.
Oh my god.
And Urgot, just by inches, will take Set down there. Looks like Set had ulti, didn't commit it. But yeah, we had a lot of action there, starting out with Kaiser picking up the kill, and once again, on the other side, Varsity, that kill going over to Rel. So now Vayne not quite with the gold from getting these kills like Kaiser has. Kaiser able to have a little bit of extra power here in the early game, and just so much action occurring. And the Dragon also going over to Varsity as well. So all in all, I think very good if you're Varsity here and you would like the way that entire fiesta went down.
Yeah. Kaiser with 2 kills. Like I keep saying, you can't really check the items, but that was overall, I think, like a decent fight. As long as Northville JV doesn't fall exponentially behind, they're doing well. Like all of their lanes are doing well. Unfortunately, the set has been unlucky twice into the Urgot. I guess that's the kind of the way that Urgot can start to beat the set out, is if the set falls a decent amount behind, because the Urgot already has his first item complete where the set is still on components. So very scary there. I think Set can still even outplay that. He has a big minion wave. Just fighting in a big minion wave versus an Urgot, that's just going to be the way to go. Looks like Northville Varsity is looking for some kind of play on this bot line. They're clearing out vision. Both the Veigar and the Olaf are in this bot river, and it looks like they may be looking for a dive or just some kind of play down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, and perhaps Morgana caught out here.
Yeah, good blood shield.
Out of the cage and survive for now, as you said, Urgot a lot of power here with that Stride Breaker complete, tier 2 boots complete. you said set, still working on it, and more action bot side as we get engaged.
Yep, this is going to be the engage from the Rel, and that's going to be a dead Alistar. Not much you can do there. Vayne is still going to go in. That's going to be a double kill for Vayne. However, double teleport coming in. That's going to be a dead Vayne. She's just going to have no counterplay there. This is going to be a dead Rel as well, and this is just going to be a great pickup for Northville JV. But on the opposing side, Northville Varsity is going to pick up the first turret mid, and they're going to still get some decent damage on this tier 2 tower.
Absolutely. JV there committing all 5 members to the bot side of the map. So what happens? Well, you take the mid tower. We put damage on the mid tier 2. And then, you know what? Let's go up and just start taking the top camps. So it's trading. Yes, you get that double kill down there. But what do you lose on the other side? That is the question.
Oh, very, very scary. You know, 3K gold lead at 16 minutes. Something to look out for and how it changes. Just want to note the Stride Breaker built on set. I think it's an excellent item. You're able to just get that extra bit of mobility as a bruiser. You know, even though you have great sticking power, you just have to get on top of people to use it. So very good item for the set. It's going to be its completion. Looks like they're going to be some maybe a bit of blood coming up to the top side. As have a lot of people rotating up.
And see what's going to happen here. Looks like team still playing a bit calm here. No real objectives here on the map to play around at the moment. So just farming up, keeping an eye on the enemy team, getting your vision.
What do you think about this 3-1 Galio? Or at least, I don't know. He's 3-1, decent farm, and he's starting Protobelt and has a Bramble.
Yeah, I mean, Galio will definitely have to be a factor here in the game because, as we mentioned earlier, right, JV doesn't have a ton of damage outside of Kaiser as trying to catch set. He just stride breakers away. He will be just fine. Galio looking around that dragon, actually starting to set up some vision there.
I was going to say, this roll's getting a little bit over aggressive. The Flash Box, that's going to be a 2-man stun. Here comes the Galio ultimate, but the Magistorm is going to oppose it. It's going to be some big damage from the Veigar, getting some massive cleave with his W. And that's going to be really huge, as that's going to be 2 people down right before the dragon spawns.
Absolutely, and as we talked about, right? Yes, you have Kaiser. Yes, you have plenty of supports around her. But what happens without Kaiser, right? Vayne and Veigar will shred you.
Yeah.
As they continue the chase here.
Yeah,
Alistar living with 1 HP there. We're going to take the Rift in to the Nexus turrets as Olaf will just solo the dragon.
Yeah, that was a good smite from the Morgana. But yeah, that was actually really scary. Now we're up to over a 5,000 gold difference at 18 minutes. I feel like both me and Ethan were watching the MSI earlier, and gold leads just seem to exponentially just change. Is a very good condemn over there onto the wall, onto the set. I'm going to pick up a kill, and Northville JV is starting to lose out.
Absolutely, and you don't want to be behind against Vayne and Veigar because all they do is keep scaling and scaling and scaling. So a ton of trouble here, but not only that, right? You also have 3 dragons already over to Varsity, and what do you also not want? You don't want carries that are unkillable, right? We're looking at a soul coming up for Varsity that is very scary if you're Northville JV here.
Yep. This next dragon is going to be like a do or die. You know, Mountain Soul on their team is really scary because you kind of have low damage with Northville JV. So, I mean, it's kind of That's kind of where you don't have burst damage really. You don't have an assassin. You don't have like some super powerful mage that just does absolute tons of damage. This Morgana I think is just gonna be caught out. Yep, that's gonna be a dead Morgana. But yeah, you don't have any super powerful mage. You don't have a Veigar. You don't have a Victor. You don't have a Syndra. You have a Galio. Galio does do a decent amount of damage, but it's not like a scary mage, especially with the build he's going on right now. Um, but this Kaiser's going to be needing to get more items, more gold, and like I said, this next dragon is just a ticking time bomb for Northville Varsity.
Absolutely. As it looks like the Baron will just be started up here.
I don't think they have any idea of it happening, as well as they already got DC'd right there. He's just walking back to base. Uh,
And
very interesting there. We're unable to contest. This might be. I mean, this next fight is going to be really scary for Northville JV. Is they're 8K gold down. Plus Baron is going to be with the enemy team, so they're going to need a miracle smite to prevent the soul.
as catching Set there forces him to flash away and pushing the tower here. Looks like they're gonna give it up for now. Varsity is Veigar just chips in a little bit of damage there.
Yep. Northfield Varsity just, attritioning out the enemy team. It's going to be another beautiful condemned by the vein. Just instantly deleting that Morgana. Big damage coming over to the side. He's going to be forced to use W. Diving in. Double kill for the Olaf. Triple knockout from the Alistar. But it's not going to matter. That's going to be another kill over to Northfield Varsity as they just completely stomp Northfield JV. Getting the tower. There's minions pushing into the base. And there's no one left to defend it as the Galio is sitting bot.
Absolutely, and it's just getting worse and worse. Galio needs to go back to base. That is a Baron wave crashing on your Nexus. You can't afford to stay bot against this, as it looks like Varsity will just decide to end here.
Yep. I think the Galio probably wasn't even if he was there able to do anything. Is 4 people with Baron, pretty scary. But that's going to be game 1 of Northfield Varsity versus Northfield JV. We're going to take a quick break as we get game number 2 underway. We're going to set up draft, and we'll be right back once we get there. Alright, back. We're in quote-unquote champ select number 2. Joined by Ethan Avery. The score is currently 1-0, favoring Northfield Varsity. Let's get it underway.
Absolutely, and bands coming out again. I think those are the same bands we had, or if not the same, very similar bands.
I mean, I have the same link up, so I mean,
okay.
I think it is. It is. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess both teams just know what they want. Both of these teams go to the same school. All the players go to the same school, so I assume they all play together and they all know what each other play. So they just came in to play, and that's going to be the first pick, Zinzao. That's I'm interested to see this. I haven't seen Zinzao in a while. I have seen it played against me a few times in the last week or so. It's very annoying. I think it's very strong, underrated jungler, especially versus a team of somewhat squishy champions, or champions with projectiles. His ult can also be very annoying, make him seem very tanky. But Kaiser picked for Northfield Varsity this time.
Yeah, and so Varsity's just gonna go ahead and take that Kaiser away. Very meta champion. Of course, she loves to play with Nautilus, and he will be picked up as well. So very aggressive bot lane here for Varsity. A lot of kill pressure out of those two.
Yeah, very, very scary. Let me just double check something. A little bit of technical difficulties, but it's all settled. Yeah, Kaiser Nautilus is actually really scary. Especially, into Trist. Like, pretty I think the 1v1 goes to Kaiser. I think I gotta see the support, but I think the 2v2. I'm not sure what could you possibly say, Trist, and what any support in the game. Can it beat Kai'Sa Nautilus? This just seems like such an aggressive, overpowering lane.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what JV opts for to play against this. We expect Xinjiao in the jungle, we expect Galio mid. Of course, potentially Galio would be the support, but I would definitely expect a mid, especially after what we saw last game. And so we'll see also what the rest of these comps shape out with as we get Vagar yet again locked in here for Varsity. Playing into that Galio. Very hard to kill Galio, of course, in lane, but outscaling, being a huge damage source as the game carries on and he scales. And for JV here, we have that Urgot banned away, Varsity taking away Blitzcrank.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. I think Galley is a beautiful pick. You have three AP not AP, magic dealing champions. Galio does very well. He has native magic resist, magic shield built into his kit, so that's really good. So right now, I think what Northville JV needs is some beef, some frontline, some engage. I think the Blitzcrank was actually a very good pick, or a good ban to take away. It could be really scary if your Vagar just out of nowhere just gets hooked, and oh look, that's like a lot of your damage and your lockdown as well. Especially if they build Everfrost. So really good ban there. Kennen, I'm liking this. I'm liking this team comp. It's very engage and run at you, and I don't think Northville Varsity at the moment has an answer to this Ken and Rel, Galio, or what the engage that Northville JV has.
Absolutely, I will agree with that. Varsity here, not a ton of peel to deal with that, to disengage from what the JV comp has, but they're going to opt to go for at least one of the strongest early game junglers in the game. She's going to be looking to make plays very early on. And we get the Yorick locked in as well, potentially some split pushing being looked at. Very, very interesting, these comps. I want to see how they actually end up playing out once we get into the mid game.
I just realized I was muted. um, yep. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, about 3.5 minutes. Once the spectator delay is over and we're in game, we'll get back to it. And yeah, we're gonna wait for game number 2 to get underway. So we'll be right back as we wait out the spectator delay. We're back in game number 2, the do or die game for Northville JV. Interested to see how. Actually, I'm interested to see how Northville Varsity uses their comp. I think it's very scary. Uh, Very scary pick potential with the Nautilus, with the Vagar, with the Elise. But on the other side, very scary team comp for Northville JV.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how both of these comps attempt to play. It's neither of them very, these aren't really meta comps or anything. So I think it's going to come down to the teams themselves, how they decide to come out here and play these comps. That's going to be the deciding factor here. Again, nothing too crazy going on level 1, but we have Elise here starting top. We have on the other side Zenjiao starting bot, so we'll see how these junglers path moving forward. Of course, both of them very aggressive early game junglers. They want to make plays as opposed to just sitting back and farming.
Yep. Again, both junglers starting on opposite sides of the map. Interesting to see the Elise starting on the top side. Guessing maybe an early game mid or bot, or maybe possibly an invade or something. I'm not quite sure why Elise started top. I guess we'll see in the next minute or so, or maybe that's just the way that Elise wants to path. But I think first fight we're gonna see is in this bot lane. Um, I think the Nautilus, yeah, they're gonna push for 2 here. This is gonna be a very dangerous spot for the Rel. I think this is very, very dangerous for the Rel. Maybe that's gonna be the hook. That's gonna be a ton of damage, and that's gonna be first blood for the Kaiser. That's a really good route from the Nautilus with his passive, and that's gonna be very, very unfortunate for Northville JV.
Absolutely, as you said, could be unfortunate for Rel. Well, it was very unfortunate for her. And like within that, of course, you're giving away first blood here to Kaiser. Not something you want to do. Will make the lane extremely difficult here.
Yep. It's kind of the opposite of what happened last game, I'd say. I mean, last game, the Kaiser did get a kill quite early. Um, but yeah, like I said, level 2 advantage. It looks like I was right. Elise was able to clear 3 camps. She's ganking top. Hopefully can pick up this kill. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen. And the cannon is just going to walk it out.
Yeah, Kennen forced to use his flash there, but survives and trades flashes with the Elise. So not the worst there. If you're a top laner, just making it through, surviving ganks in early game, very important.
Yep. So very curious about this Elise pathing. I think she's just the more she doesn't farm her camps this early, the farther she falls behind. Given Elise is a very gank heavy champion, but she wasn't able to secure killer assists with that early going top. Looks like she's leeching a bit of XP mid, but I think she just needs to go get the bottom scuttle crab, clear your bot side, reset, and then look for some kind of gank because the Xin Zhao already has double your farm, and that's actually really, really bad for your jungle tempo.
Of course, Elise, champion, very reliant on
Here
using
comes an
Zez to get
engage on the
more
bot
XP.
lane. This is going to be a dead Kai'Sa. This is probably going to be a dead Nautilus as well. Probably not. Here comes the Elise gang. Hopefully, she's able to pick something out. Beautiful cocoon. Flash from the Nautilus. This is going to be a dead Tristana, hopefully. Hopefully, they can also get this Rel. I don't think they quite have the damage for possibly. Here comes the Spider, but that's not going to be enough. Nautilus living with 1 HP. And that's going to be a great turn for Northville Varsity.
Absolutely, Elise happening to be there at the perfect time to pick that up for them, helping out a ton. Of course, still behind on farm. She's going to have to catch up in that respect, but getting that kill helps just kind of mitigate that gold lead that Zen has on her at the moment.
Yep. She, she still has yet to go to her boss side jungle, which is amazing. So she's gonna go clear that out now. Like you said, that kill definitely helped. I don't think 1 kill is worth the 10 jungle farm equivalent that she's missing. I think 1 camp is around 70 gold, and that's 4 CS, so maybe it's somewhat even, but still, it's still a lot of experience you're missing out on as well. Um, this is very dangerous for Rel again, stepping up, losing all her HP. Just gonna get auto downed by the Kai'Sa. Looks like we do have a gank going off in the mid. It's gonna be very successful, and that's gonna be a kill over to the Xin Zhao. Oof.
Jeez.
That was
Your
yep. E missed. I don't think he quite needs either. I think the E still would have landed. That's gonna be all from the cannon. It's gonna be very, very close, and it's gonna go the cannon's way. Great ultimate there. I think he was able to get the double stun, and that's going to be very, very unfortunate for the Yorick. The cannon is going to have to be very careful here. Yorick does have TP. Yep, not going to be able to push it in. I think it's still going to push into tower. That's just a relatively large minion wave. I don't think the Yorick should go for that. Just needs to get the kill, or excuse me, get the farm, get the experience, and just farm back up.
This looks like he'll decide to do a little tanking that has already brought him back down to about half HP. Dealing such a huge wave, trying to kill, and Sinzao walking in here
Oh,
to
that
bot lane.
should not have worked. Just able to walk up, and that's going to be a free kill over onto the Nautilus. That was very, very unfortunate for the Nautilus. I mean, Zen was just pretty much able to walk up for free without, any fear of, or I guess there was no fear, but like that shouldn't have worked.
Yeah, those are the ones that you say as a an enemy jungler. There's no way my team dies to this,
Ooh.
right? But the tier 2 boots for Zen,
Oh,
it's
it's gonna be really good for Trist. Oh, that's so
Chris
unfortunate.
deciding not to get that last auto in that almost certainly would have killed Veigar. Um, she will keep her own life though on the other side.
Yeah, look at the level difference right now. This is the dead Kaiser, I think. Maybe? Yeah, I think she's still dead. Zin's just gonna, run her down. It's gonna be a dead Nautilus again after dying and coming back to lane. Another TP. And that's gonna be a double kill for Zin. That's gonna be the flash shot from the cannon top. Do not want to get locked in there with all those minions, as well as the maiden out for the Yorick. But blood all across the map. Overall, 3 kills, but still only a 1,000 gold difference.
Absolutely, and as you said, there's level difference down here. And bot lane kind of helped even out after that play, but we're gonna have to continue to see how this goes as the game moves forward.
Yep. I really hate that the scoreboard's not working. It's it's a little annoying. Another game coming out for the Zen. Elise is here for the counter game. Cocoon is gonna land. Zen Zhao's taking a ton of damage. See if Veigar can possibly get the ult off. Is gonna get the ult off, but it's not gonna matter. Uh, looks like they're gonna trade 1-for-1 up in the mid lane. And looks like there was a kill off onto the top. Maybe York got a little greedy, but it's going to chase him down. That's going to be another return kill for Northville JV. And they are doing very well for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much ahead. Of course, things can turn, especially here in the early game, with so many TPs available throughout. So we'll have to be careful, right? If you're JV, not to get too excited with your lead as this game continues to shape itself.
Yeah. Elise, I think is, yes, a very early game jungler. But she has 2 kills. And it's kind of one of those champions that it's scary. Yeah, I think the Elise can one-shot everyone on the enemy team besides maybe the Galio and the Rel potentially. It's still a very scary champion, and this is a great play from the Elise here to put the Herald mid and get some decent plates. But it's just, oh my, that was almost a really bad play. I think the Zen is still gonna kill him, gonna run it down. It looks like he's just going to be discouraged from the Elise there. That's going to be another Cocoon just walking up, but he is going to be able to trade the kill off. Taunt is going to land. The peel is beautiful from Northville JV, and that's just going to be a free kill over onto the Yorick.
And Varsity there just getting a bit too aggressive there against the Jinzao, and we get more action bot side.
Yep, the Kaiser just wants to get out of there while that bomb is on her. They're both running for their lives. Big damage coming out from that Tristana. Flash in from the Rel. That's going to be a flash trade for the Nautilus. And wow, this is very, very aggressive lane bot with the Rel Tristana. That's going to be another kill for Northville Varsity. Looks like the hook is going to miss. They're still chasing down here. But wow, this is almost a completely different game from game number 1. Double the kills for Northville JV.
Yeah, a huge flip, and this game is going to get very difficult for Varsity to win if it continues on in the current fashion. So we just have a lot of people just kind of hovering here at bot, maybe looking for some action, waiting to see if anything happens, but both teams playing it relatively safe.
Yeah, looks like Kennen and Gallia are building the same items, which is pretty funny. The only thing different in their builds is their starting item.
Yeah.
But as we approach the stage, I guess I call this stage the in between the early and the mid game. It's not quite mid game yet. People haven't quite completed their mythic items yet. But this bot lane for Northville JV is doing very well. They every time the Rel engages, either the Nautilus or the Kaiser lose half their HP or more, potentially even die. It's very scary lane down there.
Absolutely. And the way this comp is kind of playing out around this Tristana, as you mentioned, both Galio and Kennen, looks like they're building those proto belts along with Jin Zhao and Rel. They want to engage and get big opportunities for Tristana to follow up on, which she has been doing so far in the game very well.
Yep. Still interested to see how this mid game starts to shape up as we get further and further into the game. Um, I think with Northville having this much gold, or excuse me, Northville JV having this much gold this early, I think if I don't think there's going to be too big of a fight for this dragon. Possibly the dragon after it. I think anything can happen. That's like 6 minutes away, but it's very scary with Kennen having 2 kills, Xin Zhao having 4 kills, and Tristana also doing very well for herself. So very very scary if any kind of team fight breaks out.
Absolutely. As you said, the finished items just now starting to come online for a lot of these characters, and we will see how this dragon fight essentially works out with Zen starting to head there. Looks like Elise is starting to head there. And Yorick pushing mid might find himself in trouble. Galio.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's actually really really good for Northville Varsity. Looking for the dive. That's gonna walk up as the Nautilus tanks the tower, and that's actually huge. As the Kaiser is now 4-2-0. And Kais is actually one of the champions you really, really don't want getting fed this game, as she's going to be doing a ton of damage. Um, and Zin's coming down here for the cleanup. I think he's going to be quite successful for these kills. Hook's going to land. Oh my god, never mind. Galio's going to be able to clean this up, though. And that's going to be a double kill for the Galio. And he is now 5-0, so that's going to be quite scary. I think the Galio should continue to build AP items instead of like
yeah.
last game.
Galio extremely strong here in this one. Still also has that ultimate available if necessary. As at least looking around the dragon, looks like she's just gonna start it up here.
Yep. Northfield JV, I think should have played a little bit safer with the dragon coming up. Um, that's just another way. They were pretty much ahead by just a small amount. It was just like they had a lot of kills, but Northfield Varsity had a lot of farm advantage over them. So there was that. But looks like they are ending up just gonna be able to pick up the dragon. I'm not sure why Elise didn't finish the dragon there. I guess she just got zoned off by Northfield JV's team.
Yeah, started it a bit early. Her team not quite there and starting it over multiple control boards. So just kind of spotted out and ends up leashing it, which will just put her further behind this Jinzao, already down 40 farm in the jungle.
Yeah, that early game definitely was a detriment to the Elise. Although she did pick up those 2 kills. Sen has 4 kills and 5 assists, so he was able to do a lot more around the map and pick up a lot more kills than the Elise. It looks like Zen's still looking for more blood, as he's constantly been bought. He's been mid multiple times, and he's just been able to impact the map so much more than the Elise.
So bot lane just surviving here. JV. Their tower getting very low. We do have 2 TPs still available as Kennen finding himself in a ton of
Wow.
trouble and he'll go down.
As Vagar, I would say, is very much back in the game. I think he was 0-2 at one point, and now he's 3-2. Has a 300 gold shutdown, so it's been able to pick the game up quite a bit from the early game.
And that's exactly what you want if your Varsity Vagar will just scale and never stop scaling. So if you're looking to try and come back in this game, you're going to want that Vagar to have money, and we get action here in mid lane.
Looks like he's gonna try to chase him down. I don't think it's that safe with his entire team bot. So what do you think about the Triforce changes that were recently implemented? The
Yeah,
mythic bonus passes.
yeah, very interesting, of course. Triforce was not very strong with the original sort of item reworks. And so I know Yorick players and many other kind of bruiser players that used to build Triforce now kind of experimenting a little bit on these newer patches, seeing do I want Triforce still, or do I want Divine Sunder? Is Rel going in here?
Yep, big engage off onto the Kaiser and the Nautilus. This is going to be a very, very dead Kaiser as she tries to walk away. That's going to be a beautiful double kill picked up by Northville Varsity. Unfortunately, there's not many objectives they can pick up, but that was a beautiful engage from the Rel. Flash ultimate just pulling them back and back, and they were able to pick up 2 kills as a result.
And it continues with Elise chasing. Won't be able to pick up the kill against Kennen there.
Flash. Here he
Vagar.
comes. This is going to be very dangerous. So this comes out. Yep, that's going to be a kill over onto the Zen. 5, 2, and 5. I'd say he's very fed at this point. 5 kills, and he's, I think, picked up multiple shutdowns, not just that they were normal kills, so going very, very well.
And the action just not stopping here. Everywhere we look, there's a skirmish breaking out. And Nautilus still looking potentially, maybe just trying to clear some vision here. Zen spotted out on his red, but doesn't look like anything will come from it. No ward.
Yep, both teams clearing out vision right before this dragon is spawning. Have maybe around 30 seconds before it spawns. It's gonna be the third dragon. If Northville JV is able to pick it up. It is a Infernal Soul, which is actually, I think it's actually really scary. I was just wondering what the interaction between Kinnan ult and Infernal Soul is. Is if you ult and you have 5 people around you, do you proc Infernal Soul on every single person? Because if so, I think you probably get maximum maybe 2 procs out of a full duration ultimate, which is very scary.
Yeah, and of course, very much prioritized. Really, just I guess JV there just not really ready to go in as a team onto that. So Dragon will go over to Varsity, which they need to try and keep JV from getting to that soul point.
So what do you think about the kill correlation as opposed to the goal difference correlation? Like you see that Northville JV is 6 kills up, but they even had a lead at one point, but now they're 1K gold down. Looks like we may have lost Ethan. Are you there, Ethan? Looks like we may have lost Ethan, so I'm gonna take over. I think it's very interesting. I keep looking down at this Galio, and every time I look down, he has more and more kills. He's up to 6 kills now. Up, Ethan, are you back? Thought I heard him for a second. But yeah, I think we're solidly off into the mid game. People are starting to work on their second items, even third, in terms of if you're the Kaiser or Galio. I'm sure the Galio's sitting on a decent amount of gold potentially. But teams are going to start looking to doing some split pushing. I think this York should definitely be put in some kind of side lane. He has TP. York excels very, very well at taking towers, especially with a Sheen item, and hopefully that he has Demolish. Just sit him in a side lane and see if he can get some turrets and objectives. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game and see if I can get Ethan back, and I'll be right back once I sort that out. Alright, we're back. Ethan is back as well. Just a bit of technical difficulties throughout the day today, but last thing I was talking about really was the goal difference versus, the kill difference. Although Northville JV has their 6 kills up, they're still down in gold.
Right, absolutely. And that is, that's the power of towers, right? Each tower, basically worth a kill in and of itself, and even more when you include plates. So very important, of course, to get towers, especially as early as you can, right? Stacking those plates, and it can be a very big help, not just in terms of map pressure, but also in terms of gold.
Yeah, let me just do this real quick. That was a beautiful bait by the Galio. I didn't even think. I thought he was just gonna die to the Yorick, but Zonius was a great play. Looks like it was just a great bait down onto the bot side. As now, Northville Varsity is just gonna pick up the Baron. Looks like for free, possibly. Looks like Northville JV is gonna be able to get in there. Big ultimate from the roll. That's going to be, it looks like a triple magnet storm. That's probably going to be a dead Kaiser. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough damage from the Tristana. She's taken down by the Veigar. Northville Varsity is running for their life as Northville JV is just going to try to finish off the Baron. Kaiser is running for her life, and this is going to be a free leash onto the Baron by Northville Varsity, and it's going to go over to Northville JV.
And what a turn of events there. Varsity trying to kind of force that Baron there, and it just turns around as worse as it could possibly be for them. You hate to see it. And now JV in a great spot here as the TP comes in from Veigar.
Yeah, I think it was actually really, really scary. I think he could have died if Veigar had ult in. Wow, look at that. The Xin Zhao just absolutely destroyed the Kaiser there, and that was what I was talking about in Champs Select. Xin Zhao is very, very scary if you're a squishy champion. Just runs up and autos you down, and there's not really much you could do as an AD carry.
Very scary champion. Just kind of runs at you as Kennen looking here top onto the vape.
I think that was almost really scary for the Kennen if he took possibly one more turret shot or possibly the double W from the Veigar, because that's just a W ult away from being killed. So really good for the Kennen in those limits. I don't think he was able to also get any hits on his ult, maybe 1 or 2. But we do have another dragon that's up, and I want to see what's going to happen here. It looks like Northville JV is just going to have reign over this.
Yeah, and Varsity look like they're very interested in contesting this one, so just go ahead and let that go.
Yeah.
But that will put JV on soul point, so very scary. Of course, with that potential Infernal Soul on the map, the amount of damage that can come out of it.
Yep. This might be very scary for Zim. Here comes the Maiden. Looks like he's just going to back off. Looks like we have another play onto the top rail. Let's try to get on top of this Veigar. This is going to be a very, very dead Veigar. Maybe, actually, that's going to be a super bait on the Zonias. Living with 1 HP, and he's just going to walk it off, as that was a very, very close call by the Veigar.
Yeah, extremely close as it can get, but it works out. And, you know, this is a situation where, as you said earlier, right, it's kind of funny looking at the GOAT League, right? This is still a very, very winnable game for Varsity, despite, right, the 8 kills that JV is up here.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. You know, you may be thinking, oh, we've got 20 kills, but it's still a very, very close game. However, I think if Northville JV is able to pick up this Infernal Dragon, it can be very, very bad for Northville Varsity, as that's going to be a lot of extra damage on their, already squishy champions. You have Elise, Veigar, and the Kaiser, who are your main damage carries, and more damage on them is not what you want to see.
Absolutely, and with the way the JV comp works here, it's a ton of burst damage, right? You have Zinzao, who decided to go damage, right? He has the Eclipse, so lethality in there, right? We have Kennen, who can, go in and deal damage. Of course, we have Tristana, right, who does a ton of burst damage already with her bomb and attack speed, steroid combo. So very scary if that Infernal Soul goes over to JV.
Yep, looks like we might have a bit of a vision game going on in here. No objectives up in terms of, the neutral objectives of Baron and Dragon. Next objective to come up will be the Baron in about maybe a minute to 2 minutes. But I was saying earlier when your mic was cutting out that Northville Varsity just needs to put this Yorick in a lane. I really don't think, especially at this deficit that they are, I don't think Northville Varsity wins team fights. And your dragging people down here like this is very good. If Northville Varsity is able to pick something up, I think this is a very, very, very bad TP. You should have just let the Yorick die. Looks like he's just going to pick up 1 kill and is going to be able to probably walk away, but looks like it's going to be a dive over onto the Tristana, and the Veigar is just back here buying as much time as he possibly can. That's going to be Ignite. He's just going to burn down. But this was a beautiful, beautiful trade from Northville Varsity. They're like, okay, we're going to send 2 people bot. I don't think, like I said, they need to send the Veigar, but they sent that many people bot to them, and they lost an inhib for it. So that was a great, great play from Northville Varsity.
Absolutely, and why is it even more important? Well, Baron is spawning soon, right? You open up that mid inhibitor, now JV has to respond to that while the Baron spawns.
Yep. So if they're able to secure this Baron, if they're able to take the next Dragon, stall out the game a little bit more, it's going to be a dire situation for Northville JV.
Absolutely.
We want to just look at the Kaiser's items. She looks very, very scary. 260 farm, 7 kills, 3.5 items. This Kaiser, I'm pretty sure, could one-shot the Tristana. What do you think?
Yeah, she is extremely dangerous. Of course, with that collector, the Hell of Blades combo, isolated Qs. That's what Kaiser wants to do. She is extremely dangerous, and I think you look on the other side with Tristana. She very similar situation with her. Tons of burst damage coming out from her as well. So this dragon fight can possibly decide the game with an open inhib and super wave pushing down mid. Varsity can just stall here, and that wave will continue to push. But they will start the dragon up, and JV hesitant if they want to.
Yep, here comes a fight. That's going to be a very good pick over onto the rail. The Kennen is running for his life. That's going to be a alt over from the Kaiser. Not sure why the Kennen didn't defensively ult to stun the Kaiser off of him. That's going to be a double kill Northville Varsity is looking for the end here. It's going to be a 5v3. It looks like they're maybe going to go top. Never mind, they're just going to run it down mid with the super minions. And wow, Northville Varsity has completely turned this game on its head. Looks like Zin's going to be going in, trying to get some kills. It's not going to work. There's going to be now two people trying to defend the game as they just take down these turrets. Northville Varsity looking to end the game and move on to the finals. Zin's out, getting caught out with a cocoon. That's going to be another kill. Only one person defending. 5-man taunt from the Galio, and that's going to be game for Northville Varsity, securing their spot in the finals.
Absolutely. What an exciting finish. We talked about it all game. It doesn't matter if you're up on kills. League of Legends is a game about turrets. You have to destroy the Nexus. That's how you win the game. Varsity understanding that and putting that to use here in the end on the dragon fight, just taking that into a pick and then running it straight down mid to end the game.
Yep, and we're going to take a quick break as we try to get our next game set up. Northville Varsity versus Troy Loyalty. I do have a bad memory, but if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure this is the same matchup we had for our second finals, wasn't it? Or was it DCC?
Yeah, I think we did have
It might have been the first finals.
Yeah, I think these two met in the finals at least once before.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting take. So I'm super excited to see Northville make it to the finals again. And as always, I'm always excited to see Troy play. But we are going to take a quick break as we get game number 1 set up for this finals match.